Hello everybody, back at you with a new video. Today I'm making something that I have failed to make sooner, and that is my homemade face cream. I have sought out natural products for a few years now, and I stumbled upon the name of the channel is OCE Natural. She's both a creator, but she also sells her products, and she's really awesome because she includes the measurements. Now, she used to have more written out measurements, but people were stealing her content, so she's taken that out. But some of her videos still has weights and measurements and stuff, which is really helpful. But from when I first gleaned her channel back in October of 23, this was the formulation that I was interested in. So it's 80% shea and coconut. So for the first time I made it, I pretty much just, poured until I was compelled to stop. So I don't remember exactly. Today I'm going to hopefully try to replicate that. As you can see, I'm almost out. And it's a very yellow color because that is the color of the shea butter that I bought. So 80% shea and coconut combined, 20% calendula. Now that's not exactly because there's a few drops of vitamin E, a few drops of glycerin, and I think I'll use a teaspoon of arrowroot. So arrowroot helps with the greasiness. It alleviates some of the greasiness factor. So I'm trying to fill up an 8-ounce jar, and accounting for the air once it's whipped, I'm only going to do 4 ounces of material. So 80% ish. I'm going to do 3 ounces of the shea, and then another few ounces of coconut. I'm going to melt the shea butter slowly, and then once it's mostly melted, I'll put in my coconut oil, since this melts a lot faster. Now I'm just going to add like a tablespoon. I'm not even measuring. This is how it usually goes sour. But yeah, teaspoon of coconut oil. I started the flame at medium low, but now it's just on low. Okay, that's all melted. I'm going to take it off the fire. Now I'm going to add my calendula oil, about an ounce. This is a mix from 2023 of August, and it's calendula flowers in avocado and a few sprigs of lavender. This is the container that came with this kind of blender, stick blender. So that's what I'll be primarily using for my butters and salves. So I'm just I've incorporated all the oils. I could have probably avoided a container if I just put all the oils in one, but this is it. Now the last piece of the puzzle is the arrowroot powder, and I will be using 1 teaspoon. This is a half a teaspoon measure. Now I don't feel that I need to be super precise because these ingredients are for me and I'm not using any preservatives. These are all ingredients that would be okay on their own, safe. And as I've tested this formula already, I know my skin doesn't mind it. So now, since I have this blender, you can also use a regular baking blender. I can get some foam into this. Now these blenders are pretty good at incorporating things together, so I'm not going to spend minutes upon minutes doing this. But very important next is getting this cooled down so that it solidifies. So I'm going to leave this just out on the counter for a little bit to cool down more, and then I'm going to put it in the freezer for a little bit after that to get it solid. And then I'm going to whip it again. So I'll be back in a little bit. So I've had it in the freezer for just 20-25 minutes, and I think my freezer is too cold because it's over frozen. So now I can't whip it. So I'm gonna wait for it to warm up again before attempting to whip it again. So I made the mistake of putting too much shea butter, and this is way too hard. So I'm going to attempt to get as much of this out, remelt, and add in more calendula oil, which is the avocado oil base also. I forgot to turn the thing back on. So I just poured the liquid back in, and now we're gonna attempt to blitz it again. Just trying to get the extra oils that have hardened overnight into the liquid. So I was having the hardest time getting this buttery or frothy, and it was just giving me the consistency of, solidified oils and butters. And that's because I was using this attachment. So that's good for things, but not for the purposes of buttering this concoction. So need the whisk attachment. You can use a hand blender, you can use like the bigger ones for baking if you have a large batch, but for this purposes, this little one works great. And I get a beautiful whipped consistency, just what I've been suffering for a couple of days. So I cleaned it up as best as I could. This will be used up in the next month or so. And this I will keep in the fridge. And I will use it to refill this in smaller quantities until it's done. Took me over a year to get through the last batch, which was also one of these and some of this.